Marvel Legends, Amazon exclusive, Avengers, Beyond Earth's Mightiest, 60 Years of Earth's Mightiest, the West Coast Avengers, 5-pack. Let's get it. What is good, my peeps? It's the Ruckus back at you again with another action figure review, an overview to be more precise. We have an Amazon exclusive, still sticking with the Beyond Earth's Mightiest motif, the 60 Years of Earth's Mightiest, in other words, the Avengers 60th anniversary. This is the Amazon exclusive West Coast Avengers 5-pack. As you can see, Amazon usually gets a 5-pack exclusive dedicated to themselves once a year at least. And we've got the same thing here once again, as well as them participating in the Avengers 60th anniversary celebration in the form of a West Coast Avengers 5-pack. Now you see our box right here, and it is a box. You see, I've got it way back there. This is pretty huge. You can tell just by looking at the figures that's lined up. What we have there on the cover there, we've got Iron Man in his Silver Centurion armor. In the center up there flying with him, we've got Julia Carpenter, Spider-Woman, and the three characters below from left to right, we've got Barbara Morse, aka Mockingbird, we've got Greer Nelson, Tigra, and Dr. Henry Pym. So you see right there, and this particular art is paying homage to the first issue of the West Coast Avengers, which was quite similar but not the same. The differences were Julia Carpenter, Spider-Woman, has taken the place of Wonder Man, and Hank Pym has taken the place of Hawkeye on the cover. And believe it or not, Mockingbird wore pants. Yes, indeed. That's the differences there. So anyway, that's how it goes down. Looking at the box, I'm going to tilt it so you can see the 60 Years of Earth's Mightiest logo. Then we go to one side. I'm going to end up having to tilt it again because this box is tall. Try to do this without knocking any figures over. And what did I do on cue? That's going to stay down there like that because we like being live. We've got 3D renders of all of the characters in this box set. Then we flip to the other side, and we'll try that again with Hank taking a little nod out there. It is what it is. And we've got artwork of those same characters. And then on the rear, about to knock over another one. On the rear, isn't that something? The figure with the most problematic feet. I hit her, she spun around, and she's still standing. Whereas Hank Pym, who's got some big hooves, just fell over. Anyway, looking at the back, we have 3D renders of all of the figures in this set, along with their accessories, as you can see, as well as the eyes of all five. They're off to the left. And so we have our 5 members of the West Coast Avengers right here in front of us. And to give you just a little update on the status of all of these figures, these characters, let's say 3 out of the 5 are redos, and 2, the remaining 2 are they're all new, all different. None of them are, the wild thing is none of them are new characters, but Hank Pym, we've never seen him as Dr. Pym before. They've got him on the box, on the packaging as Hank Pym, but during this time he was known as Dr. Pym. He called himself just Dr. Pym. That was his quote-unquote superhero name. He was still using pin particles, just not on himself. It was using them on everything else and whatever else he had invented. He had given in to his more creative side, more scientific side, and tried to stay away from all of the multiple identities, because he does have an issue with a type of disorder there. Not multiple identity disorder or anything like that, but kind of like he's insecure. He just doesn't know who and what he wants to be, so that's why he kept flipping identities. Anyhow, the other character, that would be Barbara Morse, aka Mockingbird. We've seen her before. We've had her before in a more updated costume. This was the costume that we wanted her in when we first got her, and it took a while, but we finally got her in the classic costume that we want. The other three figures are all more or less redos. We've seen them all in the costumes that they're wearing now, only they've been updated with new action figure technology or paint job. In the case of Silver Centurion Iron Man, we're talking about the paint job. We first saw him in a Walgreens exclusive where he was silver and crimson. There goes the Silver Centurion, whereas here he's a pearl white. He's the pearl white Centurion here, and a more shiny but more plastic looking crimson for his armor. And then looking at Spider-Woman off to our left, Julia Carpenter Spider-Woman. We've had her in this costume before, only this go round we've got her on the updated Shriek Buck. So she's got pinless elbows and pinless knees, some substance to those legs so they're not gummy. The same thing goes for our girl Tigra, who has the most drastic changes. Remember when we got her in the form of a retro card, an exclusive retro card, if I recall correctly. We had gotten her, and she was a whole lot. She was blood orange. I'd have to say that was the color she was sporting, was blood orange, and they managed to tone her color down now. And she's also on the Shriek body mold. At definitely the lower torso is the legs are. She's got the legs with substance. And the arms are. I would say yes, she's on the mold. Especially since I've been messing with both of them, I can tell you right now that, believe it or not, it's nothing crazy, but believe it or not, the diaphragm joint actually gives you a little bit going forward on both Tigra and Spider-Woman. And I'll demonstrate on one of them. Since they have the same body mold, I'm not going to do articulation on both. You'll have to take my word for it. As far as Barbara Morse, she's sporting the pinless legs. She's got the substance of the legs too. And but because of the nature of her costume, Hasbro gave us the swiveling single jointed arms. So, it is what it is. As far as Hank is concerned, he's sporting pinless everything, so that's a plus. That's a great thing about this particular 5-pack. I have to give Hasbro their roses. A lot of times with their 5-pack, especially when you're talking about with exclusives, we get a lot of crazy, shall we say, undesired reuse. So this right here, if you wanted to see an example, some type of indication that we are getting past Bucky Cap mold and stuff like that, this 5-pack is definitely an indicator of that. Since Spider-Woman and Tigra are more or less sharing the same body, I'm going to do them at the same time. Like I said, I'm going to try to get through this as quickly as I can. We are dealing with 5 figures here, so for the sake of brevity, I'm going to try to, like I said, do what I can to keep this interesting and as quick as I can and get through the 5 figures. The first thing we'll do is talk about accessories. And Spider-Woman, almost lost my train of thought there. Spider-Woman only comes with a set of extra fists That's all she comes with. Tigra, who came out of package with her fists, comes with a set of clawed hands. Pretty nice there, and they've got the nice painting and the striping on the outside of the hands. And she also comes with an additional head sculpt, so we get the most bang for our buck, in my opinion, with Tigra, considering she's got the shriek body and the pinless joints, the toned down red, orange red to the orange, and she gets another head sculpt too. Oh yeah. Taking a look at Spider-Woman first. S comes before T, guys. Come on now, I'm not playing favorites. We see the beautiful head sculpt. They did the digital face printing for 4 out of the 5 figures. Obviously, we're not going to get that for Iron Man, not really. So he doesn't really count. So digital face printing on everyone whose face is at least partially exposed. Let's do it like that. And it looks very nice. The paint is actually the flesh tones and the lipstick. The head is molded in a black. Her hair is like kind of blonde there. And I want to say it's got a wash in there. I'm going to go with that and say there's just a little bit of a wash in there. And of course the torso, the torso is molded in black, and you've got some nice white paint representing the spider logo. And the arms, same thing, white or molded in black and then painted in white. Of course, the hands are molded in white there. Then looking at the back, try to move her hair out the way. You can see that the logo continues, and it even goes down to the lower torso. I'm just going to stay back here. You see we've got the nice paint job going on from the thighs on down, and then of course the front there and her feet. So that is our Julia Carpenter Spider-Woman. Next, checking out our girl Greer Nelson, aka Tigra. We'll see once again she's toned down from her shall we say, her red self there, and taking a look at what we got going on here. Very beautiful neutral face sculpt. Once again, it has expression. I'm on this expression thing when it comes to the neutral head sculpts, and she does have a nice expression. She doesn't have that doe deer in the headlights look, which I'm so glad for. And the digital face print, she got her looking very lovely. And then she's got the nice hair going on as well. No wash in this hair at all. And she's wearing her classic bathing suit, if you will, her bikini. And the clasps on the front there are white. They're teeth. She's got the teeth keeping her bottom stitched together, as you can see, painted nicely. And speaking of paint, of course, she's molded in that orange, toned down, of course. And she's got the tiger stripes going on all the way. She's got that tail. And the reason I also saved Tiger for last is because she does have that tail, which will be an extra point of articulation that obviously none of the other characters will possess. Anyhow, going to the back, move her hair out the way so you could see the striping still continuing. And then, of course, there is that tail. Give you the profile of that. And that's how it goes down. In terms of her articulation, and this will count for Spider-Woman 2 with the exception of the tail, both heads are on dumbbells, and because they both have a lot of hair, you can scratch. You can absolutely scratch going back. You can move the head forward. Of course, that looks wild with the hair like that, but that's what happens when you're dealing with plastic. You do get some pivot a little bit, and you can go left and right. You're not going to really get 360 unless you force the issue, which I do not recommend. Shoulders, pretty tight, but she can get better than 90, and she can rotate 360. She has bicep swivel, double jointed, pinless elbows. Mine's are kind of tight, which is pretty cool. I like them to be tight. I don't want them to be loose, but you can see right there, double jointed pinless elbows. She's got swiveling wrists and hinges horizontal, and that's on all 4 of her hands. In terms of her torso, she's got a diaphragm. She can move, let me move this arm out the way. It's not much, like I said, but she actually can move forward a little bit, believe it or not. So I don't know if this is happenstance or if Hasbro actually improved. I'm going to make some inquiries and see if that's the case, because we were getting, let's just say, 0 before. So that's not much, but it is something. And as far as going back, that's pretty decent right there. You gotta love that. She will lean with it, rock with it side to side. They both will. And you get your rotation right there at that diaphragm. In terms of the hips, she could do the splits that much. It would have been nice if she could do them a little bit more, both she and Spider-Woman, because they're both athletic, agile characters. She can lift her leg up 90, as you can see there. Go back a little bit. She's got the thigh cut, double jointed, pinless knees, as you can see right there. And she can point her toe ballerina style. Gotta love that. And get it up also equally as nice. She's got the ankle pivot. And before I do holes, peg holes at the bottom of the feet, she has the tail, which you can detach. It ports in. So it's technically articulated, because since it ports in, you can swivel it. So there you have it. And lest we forget, which we never do, holes, peg holes at the bottom of her feet. For comparison, here's our West Coast Avengers Tiger along with the single retro carded release. You can see the differences in the color, and definitely the differences in the head sculpt. We're definitely rocking a prettier head sculpt with the West Coast Avengers version. I must correct myself. When the single release Tiger came out, she was on the new female body. She's also sporting pinless everything as well. The only caveats were, of course, how dark she came out, and that she's not as posable in the hips area as we would like, which has carried over to our West Coast version. And here's our girl with the other head sculpt. And this one looks good too. This one, she's doing the growling / gritting of her teeth. And looks pretty nice. The hair is done crazy, which is also cool. I like that head sculpt as well. It's great when you have options and, you have to make a decision on what to go with. First world problems, dilemmas we love to have. So the honor of most updated goes to Julia Carpenter, aka Spider-Woman, because she ended up going from what we see on our right here to what we got on the left. On our right, you can see, I'll show you, she's rocking the swiveling elbows and the skinny pinned knees. But she did come with that accessory there, and that's as much praise as I've given Hasbro for this box set. They have to get lambasted on cheapening out, but that's been, the motif for a minute here with them cheapening out. The great thing is, if you have both figures, you could swap the hand out, and because of the nature of the webs covering it up, you won't even see that they're slight differences in the shade of white there. This web hand, the white, the glove is a little bit more pearlescent, just a little bit, but once again, the web effect kind of sort of covers that up. Next up, we'll do silver or pearl white Centurion Iron Man, and same figure that we got before, more or less. We're not going to go through the articulation because it's Iron Man, been there, done that. So that's one way how we're going to save time doing this review. But we will go down and check out our Iron Man. So like you can see, that all of the parts that were formerly silver are now white. The faceplate, it's got the nice slits. We've got the white pearlescent arms, of course, because this is an older buck. It's the 80th anniversary buck. For the most part, been retooled, obviously, to accommodate the design of the Silver Centurion armor. And then, of course, there's the legs also pinned. And then, like I said, we've got that plastic, which looks kind of, that red plastic looks kind of plasticky. He's got the hands, the fixed repulsor blasting hands that we've seen forever. I don't know. Hasbro seems to go back and forth. We get fixed repulsor blasting hands, and then they come out with repulsor blasting hands that actually have hinges, and then they go back. So, it's a, luck of the draw, I guess. He does come with an additional set of hands. His fists, he does have that. So at least we get that going on. And he also comes with a set of repulsors. They're molded in this fluorescent blue. I think we've gotten them in this type of blue before, so may be able to double dip with another Iron Man figure and have him use them for both his hands and his feet, because there are ports in both. Here's our comparison with the original Walgreens exclusive True Silver Centurion. I'm looking at both red plastics, and I don't know. What do you guys think? I may have to reevaluate. I think I may like our pearlescent Centurions crimson better than the Walgreens, even though I like the Walgreens silver better than the white. And the other difference is the arc reactor, really the unibeam. They don't call it the arc. In the comics, it's not the arc reactor. They may call it that now, but up until 2008, it wasn't called the arc reactor. Anyway, enough about that. We see that on our West Coast Avengers version. We've got some pink there in the chest and the unibeam. Next up, we have Bobby Morse, aka Mockingbird, sporting that original look that we wanted the first go round. And this is how she first appeared. She's an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., right? What else can I tell you about her? She's I believe she's nearsighted, so she has to wear contacts or prescriptive lenses, and you'll see what I'm talking about momentarily. Anyway, taking a look at our girl Bobby, you can see she's got the digital face print, and even though she's wearing the mask, you can see that the face is lovely. It's I tell you that I'm in love with that digital printing. It's made action figure collecting, at least for Hasbro, Marvel Legends, and their whole lines, actually, because all of their brands really apply it. So there it is, with the exception possibly of Transformers. But come on now, let's keep it a buck. Anyway, it looks good. Looking at her hair, she's blonde, and she does have a wash in the hair, so that's pretty nice. It's kind of windswept, so that may get on some people's nerves. She's got the nice flesh tone paint. The body is molded in blue, and you got the white going down. When you look at the arms, molded in that blue, both sections, you get down to the vambraces, the wrist gauntlets there, painted in silver, and then of course the hands are flesh toned. Then legs, she's got the flesh tone legs, and you could see that they're pinless, nice, and they got substance, so it's pretty good. Now, they won't be gummy, so you won't have problems standing her because of that, but you may have issues with this part right there. She's blazing the heels. Now, that's unfortunate because that is her costume. She's supposed to be having heels, so we can't get on Hasbro about that. It is what it is. Turning to the rear, you see she's got the The striping going down in the back there too as well. My paint apps are pretty good, especially when you're talking about putting white on top of a dark color. Hasbro usually cheapens out, and they will only give it one spray. They probably still did. I just got lucky. And yep, that's how that goes down. In terms of her articulation, I'll do the articulation just because she's got different arms. Her head is on a ball hinge, so that's different too. It's on a ball hinge. It's not on the dumbbell like the previous two ladies were, so she can look down that far. Her hair is going to keep her from looking up as per usual. You get tilt going to her right, but because the hair is impeding, you're not going to get much going left. She can rotate. She can get her arms up over 90. She can rotate 360, and like I said, she's got the swiveling not biceps, the swiveling elbows because of the nature of her costume. As you could see, there's that swivel right there. She's got the swiveling wrist and the horizontal hinges there, and she's horizontal on all her hands, including her karate chopper. Her torso, she's got a diaphragm, and once again we're back to you get nothing going forward. She can go back quite a ways though, give her that. She can go side to side and rotate. Legs, she gets decent splits, better than Spider-Woman and Tiger, that's for sure. And she can kick a little better than 90. She can go back pretty decent. She's got the thigh cut, double jointed pinless knees. You see that right there. She has no boot swivel. She can point that toe that far forward with the heels, that far up with the heels. She does have the ankle pivot, and she does have holes. No, she doesn't. No holes. No peg holes at the bottom of her feet. As far as Mockingbird's accessories are concerned, she comes with a pair of C-grip hands. She also comes with, in order to, the reason for those C-grip hands, she has a set of batons that you can actually connect together. And if you know anything about Mockingbird, you know that the baton is supposed to telescope into a full-fledged bow staff. So you get that too with Mockingbird. And now for our Mockingbird comparison, we've got the on our right, the more modern take on Mockingbird. This came from the Red Skull or Red Onslaught wave. Captain America, I believe it was. Yep, Captain America several years ago. And like I said, this is a more modern take on her costume. And she is blazing pants, as you could see. Got the low-cut top. And she's basically totally covered. She's gloved. Pretty nice costume, can't front. But everybody wanted basically this version right here. This wasn't bad though, considering the costume is nice. She's blazing. You see her her lenses there. They're prescriptive lenses. That was also a great feature for this particular figure because she has the lenses and they're translucent, and you can see her eyes behind them. So that was very nice. But of course, because this is older, she's sporting the swivel elbows and the pinless knees, and they of course were the old female style pinless knees where no substance, kind of gummy. It is what it is. But she was blazing flat shoes that had actual soles on it, so she was pretty easy to stand up. Bringing up the rear, we have Dr. Hank Pym himself as Dr. Pym. That's what he was known during this time period in his superheroic career. And he had done away with the costume wearing and the code names and stuff, even though technically Dr. Pym was his code name. But that's also what he is. He's got doctorates all over the place, very brilliant. One of his insecurities is that he thinks he has gotten overlooked for his genius and his scientific advancements. Behind the likes of Reed Richards, Tony Stark, Hank McCoy, even T'Challa himself. He thinks he's coming behind all of those guys. And I'm trying to think if he actually placed in the top 10 smartest individuals in Marvel. I think he placed. I'd have to go over that list, but whether he placed or not, the simple fact that he isn't at the top and he's behind somebody. I know he's behind Reed, Tony, definitely Doc Doom, and I believe Hank McCoy as well. That's enough to to get him started. Anyway, as far as his accessories, he just comes with an additional set of hands, a trigger fingering right hand, and a grasping left to go with the grasping right that he already has, and a fist. In terms of the figure itself, once again, the digital face printing looks pretty good. His face does look good. He does not have the deer in the headlights look. So once again, having this neutral head sculpt is working good. I think the digital face print has something to do with it, or maybe Hasbro's made a conscious effort to give the neutral look some type of expression. Either way, I'm here for it. Blonde haired, and there is a wash in there for sure. Definitely. I can definitely see that. So pretty cool. Then going down his costume or his uniform, he's blazing the t-shirt in there, and it's got a lining around it. So that's pretty cool. And then of course the body is molded in a brick kind of red there, or brick brown, whichever you want to go with. And that's definitely the body. I'm looking at the arms, and the arms are definitely a different color. I don't know if it's translating well on video, but I'm looking at it in real life, and the arms are definitely a different color than the torso is. Of course, the hands are flesh colored, flesh toned. And then looking at the legs are the same color as the arms. The upper torso is different. It's shinier for sure, but it's a little bit darker shade. Then of course you've got the boots there, and he's pinless all around, so you gotta love that. On the back, nothing's going on. He's got the belt. The belt's got paint there at the clasp, silver paint going on, and it runs through the back, through the belt loops. So pretty good attention to detail going on right there. In terms of his articulation, his head is on a dumbbell, and I believe, yep, his neck is on one too. So you got that. He can look up that far, look down that far, and that neck just moved too, so he looks even further down because of the neck. You get some nice attitude right there. And of course you can 360 it, the arms, the shoulders. He can get almost a full T-pose. That's about 80 degrees. And it comes in pretty hard, so be careful about rubbing. You can 360 it. You can swivel at the bicep. He's got double jointed pinless elbows. So you can do that, but because of the nature of the sleeves, that looks kind of ugly right there. It is what it is. He does have the rotating wrists and the horizontal hinges, and he's got the horizontal hinges on all of his hands, with the exception of the trigger finger hand. The trigger finger hand does have the vertical, so there is difference there. In terms of his torso, this is unusual. He's got the ab crunch, which doesn't give you much right there. There's going to be some customizers that's going to modify that. I'm talking to you, ex-Scorpio. And then he doesn't go back very far either. That's all you get there. But he does have his waist swivel is well above his waist. Look how high up that is. That's crazy right there. Anyhow, He can do the splits very nicely. He can lift his legs up to 90 degrees, go back decently. He's got the thigh cut, double jointed pinless knees, which is good range despite the fact that they're baggy there at the bottom, so that's cool. He does have a boot cuff. He can point his toes that far forward, that far up. It's a little bit impeded because of the nature of the shoe. He has the ankle pivot, and he returned to the holes, peg holes, at the bottom of his feet. And now it is time for the group shot family portrait time. We have the West Coast Avengers, the vast majority of the squad right here. You see it right in front of you, and that includes the original 5 that was supposed to be, that were originally on that cover, as well as other members that joined after the fact, which some are included in this 5-pack. So you see what we got going on here. We'll start from our left and go to our right. All of the extras that I threw in are standing behind our primary 5 here. We've got on our far left, we have Moon Knight. Then, of course, we have another member of the Beyond Earth's Mightiest celebration. We've got Hawkeye. Then in the back behind Hawkeye, we've got the Vision in his white persona. And then we've got the Scarlet Witch, which, by the way, definitely needs to be updated with the newer female bodies. And then the far right, we have Wonder Man, though the caveat with this is that he was not in that costume. He was actually in this costume right here. This is a Toy Biz version right there, and he wore the glasses right here. So it would be nice if we can get an update to this particular figure as well. I would also like to get Wonder Man in his original first appearance costume. To me, that's still my favorite one, the one that he originated in, the one where he beat all of the Avengers by himself. Anyhow, that's the group shot right there. You gotta love this. It's as far as the 5-pack goes, the Hasbro Marvel Legends Amazon exclusive Beyond Earth's Mightiest, 60 years of Earth's Mightiest Avengers 60th anniversary West Coast Avengers 5-pack. From our left to right, Tigra, Spider-Woman, Silver Centurion, Pearlescent style, Iron Man, Mockingbird, and Hank Pym. Very nice set. This is the first set, in my opinion, in a long while that, for the most part, not including the accessories, that's an entirely different issue, but for the most part, in terms of the figures themselves, Hasbro didn't cheap out. The females, we got, they did all of the females justice, in my opinion, with this set. Hank Pym was done justice. He could have used some accessories to go along with those hands. Maybe a computer like the one that came with Franklin and the Scientist Supreme, the AIM Scientist Supreme, could have gotten something like that, or anything, you know what I'm saying? The only technical cheap out here would be Silver Centurion Iron Man. And even that isn't, I mean, what more could you do? We did get an additional set of hands and a couple of repulsor blasts with him. And so that's all good too. So I'm very happy with this set. I love all of the portraits that we got. Tiger looks absolutely beautiful. Hank's portrait looks very nice. Mockingbird looks great behind her mask. It is a set to have. If you have not ordered one, I'm sure you still can. It's an Amazon exclusive. Keep that in mind. And remember, if you're a completionist and you want to be part of the Beyond Earth's Mightiest 60th anniversary celebration, you got to get this set, because that's how it gets done.